Hey there, I'm from the Science Research and Innovation Division, and didn't realise we'd have the ability to look at web pages. So what the data we've got are the Science Research and Innovation budget tables, which I have a short presentation, but I think it'd be better if we could... Oh no, it's okay. I figure it's actually better to show you the real deal. So these tables of this kind have been kept since 1980, and in fact the data goes back to 1976. We don't have all of that online. As you could see there, we've only got back to 2008-9 online, but we have a great collection of data, and I guess it's an ambition for us to make something more of it than it currently is. At the moment, the rest of the data is not even online, so it's something that we'd like to get online. Of course, the old data is not in spreadsheet form either. In fact, it's just scans of very old paper documents. So we've got a long way to go. But we are planning to review how we do the tables after the current iteration, which is the 14-15 set of tables. So outcomes of this process would help us to have a vision of where we could go forward with that. Now, in terms of what the tables are, to look at, they're quite dull, I guess, but nonetheless, so what they are is a 10-year snapshot of how much of the R&D expenditure that government has undertaken through government agencies, through so basically through the higher ed sector, business, our research agencies, and sort of what's called multi-sector, which is just where things don't fit neatly into one category or another. Now you can see that goes back to 2004-05, but of course ultimately the data for some things goes back right back to 1980. Now, of course, in that time, there's lots of things that start and they stop, and that's one of the things which makes the data quite interesting. So, for example, that's by portfolio, that's by research agency, so the major agencies, Defence Science, Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, ARPANSA, etc., CSIRO, Geoscience. And then further on, the data comes down, becomes programs. And the thing about these programs is that they start and they stop. So it looks like there's this huge number of programs, but that's not actually true. That's just a feature of how this particular table's been drafted, I guess, having zeros rather than dashes, which makes it a bit harder to see that actually, although there are pages and pages and pages of these programs, there are not really that many programs. It's just this captures 10 years worth, so you'll see many things which used to exist but don't anymore. And then further on, as you see, they go on and on. Then we've got some more which are now programs which are run out of their own acts. And then we've got, this is industry contributions to the rural R&D corporations, which are just a particular subset of research organisations who get funding from the government. And then finally we've got the socioeconomic objectives, which are the purpose of the funding, so what the R&D is meant to accomplish, what the benefits are meant to be, effectively. So as you can see, we've got that data for that year, and we've got another 5 years of that data online, and then we've got a whole lot more of the same kind of data, which is not online because it's not in a fit state to be online. And I guess the bottom line for us is we would like new opportunities to visualize this data, to connect it to locations. I mean, it's not necessarily sort of geared for some of that stuff, but we know that our own understanding of what you could do with the data is much narrower than what would be true if other people brought their minds to bear on it. So, yes, we'd be very happy to discuss these sets with anyone, and would be overjoyed if somebody would spend some time looking at them during GovHack.